viewers. Thank you so much for taking out time. Today we are back with another distinguished guest for the Geo Interview. We have with us today Mr. Vishal Singh, who is an I.A.S. officer and presently the Vice Chairman of Ayodhya Municipal Authority, as well as the Municipal Commissioner of Ayodhya. Thank you so much for making out time, sir, and we would like to welcome you to the Geostrata.
Thank you.
So, my first, as an initial question to you would be, what are some aspects of your job that you love the most?
Well, I love the part of the job that gives me the satisfaction of being able to help people and the kind of change that I can bring in their life, the kind of, the challenges that they are not able to address, and I being here in job can help them out. So the most satisfying part of the job is that the number of lives that I can touch and the kind of change, sustainable change, which I can bring in their lives is the most satisfying aspect of my job. And as far as I am concerned personally, otherwise, I feel myself responsible. Being an Indian citizen, I have been taught or studied in, government schools. I've done my engineering also, bachelor's degree in engineering also from a government school, which are all subsidized. So government has spent a lot of money on me developing my skills, and so I think I need to give back to society. That aspect is also pretty well fulfilled by my job. So I pretty much love my job and enjoy everything that I do here.
It is great to know about your passion to give back to the society in terms of what it has in turn given to you. So building on this, sir, what are some present and future priorities of your team concerning Ayodhya's development?
Well, Ayodhya is a unique case of development, whether I should call it redevelopment. You all must be aware that Ayodhya was not really a place where focus was there for development for last so many years because of communal tensions which were expected out of any development work in Ayodhya. And it was everything was held in abeyance, and there was no development initiative, and there was no urban development, there was no rural development, and as such the place was dilapidating. So after this decision about Ram Temple, the present government, federal as well as state, both have immense focus on redeveloping Ayodhya. And I being part of this journey, I feel myself fortunate that I'm getting a unique opportunity of redeveloping a complete whole city, which was which has its mentions in scriptures and Skanda Puran and Valmiki Ramayana and many such old scriptures which are thousands of years old and has been mentioned as one of the most beautiful city of yesteryears. So getting a chance to work with it, it is a great opportunity as well as it is a great challenge. So since we are redeveloping it, the challenges are how do we really accommodate what is existing there on the ground. So it's not completely a green field. It is a mixture of brownfield, greenfield, and a lot of retrofitting is to be done, and a lot of new development is also to be done. So future priorities are basically to take care of all kinds of natural things. Nature, as far as if I say nature, that means the drainage, that means the pollution levels, that means the geography and topography of the place. And we need to kind of lot of dependence has to be given to greenfield infrastructure and blue infrastructure. So we are working with mostly, because when we say development, we perceive it to be a gray infrastructure, that is buildings, roads, airports, railway stations, etc., etc. That is also a part of development. But in Ayodhya, the priority that me and my team has is not to really make a gray city. So we are taking a very considered initiatives for that. One, we are trying to make this whole development effort as a river-centric development, because Ayodhya is known as a city which is situated on the north bank of Saryu River. So we do not want to lose that contact. The river centricity is the core and the center of the project development projects that we are taking up. And we are also working extensively on catchment area development and improvement. That includes all lost rivers, lost water bodies, the aquifers which have been mudded with a lot of sewer and other things. So all such development initiatives are, one, they have the focus is that of water. So we do not want to lose that touch with water. And the second element that we're working on is the ground, that is solid waste management. So we are laying a sewer system in Ayodhya, and we are trying to collect all that has to go into the river before, and then treat it. We are establishing as this STP, that is your sewage treatment plants. One is already there, 18 MLD, and another one, 33 MLD, is being installed right now while we are talking. So we are trying to take care of water aspect. The second aspect is ground aspect, that is solid waste management. So we are coming up with a very state of art method of solid waste collection, segregation, and then recycling, and then sanitary landfill. So that aspect is taken care of. That takes care of earth part of it. And the third one, that is air. So we are working consistently so as to control AQI and control air pollution. And we are kind of mandating how to construct a building, what materials are to be used, what are the things which need to be done during construction, so that AQI is maintained, air pollution is not there. And the fourth aspect that we have taken up for the first time in the South Asia, I can say, is that we have tied up with a Flemish university, which is a Belgian university, Vito, which is a research-based university. We are working on thermal comfort also of the citizens of Ayodhya. When development happens, it creates a lot of traffic, and then construction, concrete, all these things create red patches on thermal map of a city. So to take care of that, we are mapping and very closely monitoring impact of development on temperature rise, so that number of hot wave days do not increase. As of now, Ayodhya is very safe city as far as temperature and air and these things are concerned, because pollution has not touched as yet. So we have taken all these four components as the basis of all our development efforts. We have recently completed our GIS-based master plan. And again, Ayodhya is the first city in UP at least to come up with a GIS-based master plan. So we'll be using technology to its hilt to make it a state-of-art city. And when it comes up later, we should not really be feeling that we have lagged behind on any kind of natural aspect of the city development. So these are the priorities, and rest after that, depending upon number of people who are going to come here, it's going to be huge, because when Ram Mandir is ready, I think we are expecting a tourist of almost 1 to 1.5 lakh people per day. So it's a small city. So developing that kind of infrastructure for parking, for their stay, for their public amenities, for their kind of drinking water supply for them, then solid waste management, litter management, everything has to be looked into. So that is another challenge. So these are 3-4 things which we are focusing on, and these are the priorities which me and my team is working hard to address in our future developmental projects.
Thank you so much, sir. It is indeed very insightful to understand what are the nuances that must be taken into account while devising public policy for a city with as historic and cultural connotations as Ayodhya.
See, that is true. Developmental projects that we are taking up, as I said, basically is supposed to, it has to be very futuristic. The first thing that we have done is we have started planning a perspective planning for the year 2047, where we are completing 100 years of freedom of India. So from that perspective, it's a long-term planning, which is not really a usual practice. That long-term perspective, and as we are continuously being guided by Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Chief Minister of the state, we are trying to bring in their perspectives also. Plus, a very widespread stakeholder consultation. We do not want to let any part of the society be untouched and not being not feeling as if they are part of the developmental process. So we are holding continuously very very vast stakeholder consultations, be it spiritual leaders, be it retired or experienced bureaucrats, or be it political leaders, or be it residents of Ayodhya, be it religious tourists of Ayodhya, or be it different types of international tourists who are countries from different countries are coming. So we kind of keep on discussing whatever we are planning. We keep on showing with the continuous communication. We are creating a feedback cycle in the projects that we are expecting or we are developing and implement, or if they are those which are planned, so that we keep on correcting our course and we come up with something which is consensually considered as the best option or best method for developing a city. So that aspect is being taken care of, and developmental projects that are basically happening right now are about people management, because there's a lot of crowd that we're expecting. So roads are to be widened. We need to create a sufficient amount of traffic space for people. Then we are trying to create multi-level parkings at different places and nodal points where people will come and they can park their vehicles conveniently. So there are a huge number of such parking spaces being created. Then we are coming up with food courts, because when people come here, they need to have food. So we are creating food courts at such different corners. We are creating holding areas for people on all the entrances of the city, big holding areas like you must have seen in your US or Europe. When you are entering a city, there's a welcome center. So that kind of concept we are creating here on all the entrances of the city, where we can hold 10,000 people, almost all the entrances, so that city is not overcrowded during any festival or any kind of special occasions. So these are some. And then apart from roads and these parking places, we have already kind of started almost finishing about Ayodhya railway station. It has been expanded. We are trying to connect Ayodhya with different cities of importance like Delhi, or be it Lucknow, be it Chennai, be it Mumbai, be it Kolkata, almost all major cities from where tourists will come to Ayodhya or pilgrims will come to Ayodhya. So we are creating a railway station, and another set of railway track is being laid, which is almost over now. We are creating an international airport, which will be ready by March of 2023 rather. But by 2024, we should be able to start taking intake international flights. So terminal building is almost complete. So major focus right now is on infrastructure projects. And another aspect of it is we are working on a Ayodhya Arts project, which is kind of a project which is very unique in nature. We are trying to bring back our art, because this place is also known as for its art and culture and cuisines. So those softer aspects will be taken care of in the Ayodhya Art project. We are working on creating such landmarks and facade enhancement of old buildings of architectural importance, religious importance. We are redoing them. And we are also promoting of the cuisines and of the style of music. All that is also being kind of catered to in Ayodhya Arts project. Then we are working on medical tourism, because Ayodhya has the potential of providing a lot of alternative medicine systems like nature. This is what do you call naturopathy, hydrotherapy, homeopathy. And all these things also are being promoted big time in Ayodhya, so that people can come here for alternative medical treatments in times to come. And we are beautifying the city. We are choosing all those historical sites which are as per IAS. Or there was one study conducted in 1902 by Edward, who was district judge and district magistrate of Ayodhya. So he conducted a study and he identified some 148 places. And we are now redoing all those 148 places. They all have some water body or some old historic structure. So we are kind of bringing them back and making it available to people. And apart from that, also to keep a connect with the present generation, or Gen X as we say, we are trying to use technology as much as possible. We are using beacons for making it app-based tourist information system for people. When they're walking in Ayodhya, they can get all that information. So a lot of content is also being created for online availability and for this for tourists and pilgrims when they come here. And apart from this, I think nature, as I have been repeatedly saying, that nature is a very important aspect. We are trying to diversify tourism just so that people don't come here only for temple. We are developing eco resorts. We are developing forest resorts. We are developing bird sanctuary, so that people have a lot of options when they come here, and they can enjoy different types of different aspects of Ayodhya. And these are the projects which are basically kind of in our kitty right now in the portfolio.
It's very heartening to understand, sir, that public policy administration in Ayodhya is so comprehensive, spanning nature, technology, infrastructure, etc. That brings me to my next question. What are some best practices that other districts in India can adapt from your experience in implementing and improvising policy projects in Ayodhya?
See, till now, as in development in different cities are happening, but that development is not happening in a planned manner. What happens is that people start, just kind of monitoring a project if it is being implemented by government or funded by government. Whereas in Ayodhya, what we did differently was we first conducted a study, which was a very inclusive kind of study, touching base with almost all sections of society and visitors to Ayodhya. This study gave us a vision document as an output. The vision document basically defines what are the present as is conditions of the city. Then we had detailed discussions which gave us what is it that people want if Ayodhya is developed tomorrow, what is it that they want. So their aspirations were captured, and those aspirations were then converted into to be of the city. So then this gap of as is and to be gave us a direction where we want to be in 2047 when Ayodhya is developed. So we worked on almost all aspects because we conducted consultations. We got a lot of inputs from people. So these things, and then the leadership, as in this whole vision document was presented to the Honorable Prime Minister of himself. He approved, he gave suggestions, he said certain things which we have included in our vision document. Similarly, Chief Minister, he keeps reviewing the projects that are being implemented here, and he also keeps giving direction to the city development plan. So city development plan is a unique method for city envisioning what you want to do. You identify what is as is and what is it that you want to actually, where you want to arrive, and then the gap, and then people's aspirations to be captured, and then you develop projects from that. As you can see right behind me, there's a logo for Ayodhya. This logo was developed by us by conducting an international competition of logo development for Ayodhya. So similarly, we also did international competition for designing various entry gates to Ayodhya. So we keep on doing such competitions. And you must have heard, I don't know if you have, there's a Lata Mangeshkar chalk which was developed and was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister himself in Ayodhya. So these things come up when you consult with people, when you're open to listening, and you are holding a lot of consultation, and planning is inclusive. So I think as far as public policy perspective is concerned, other cities can adopt a consultative approach to development, inclusive approach to development, and they should come up with a vision document or a goal-oriented document, which then gives them where do they want to go, and then align all other projects, all other development activities for various departments and agencies into that direction. That can give you a time-bound developmental framework, that can give you a very directional approach, what you want to do, whatever government is there, that does not matter, because people's aspirations have been captured. Then you should have also should have a feedback loop, so that you can correct your course during the process of development. So these 3, 4, 5 things which we have done has already been replicated by government of UP, and different larger cities have been asked to develop a vision document for themselves, which is also in offing. Then city should try and aspire for a self-sufficiency. We are branding the city. We are trying to create resources for the city. we want people to have that pride in their city so that they can feel that this is their city. They have to protect it, they have to keep it clean, they have to invest it, they have to abide by the law. And this is a kind of aspirations that you need to create in the citizens of the society, and so that they can also, you can infuse some civic sense into them so that they start owning the city. So these are the things which we have done, and I think these will bear fruits in times to come.
This was a great master class in public policies for all policy aspirants and professionals indeed. Uh, Now implementing something at such a large scale that you are doing, for example, your Ayodhya Masterplan, what are the challenges that you face on the ground?
Challenges, first of all, the first challenge is in terms of capacity, because government does not have that kind of capacity planning initiative for its employees. And at some level, because we cannot really be on all the sites ourselves, and there's a limit up to which you can involve private sector in terms of consultancy or PMC, though we have extensive support from many such private organizations in terms of third party quality control, or in terms of project management, portfolio management, and other things. But the government people who are supposed to take responsibility, sometimes, yes, corruption is there, some issues are already there in which are infested with government service, and which we need to address, which we keep trying to do, and whatever is needed to address that challenge. But at the same time, I feel sometimes capacity itself is a challenge. So I think government should really think about it, and hire fresh people and train them, and continuous training, mid-career training, these things also should be done, so that people feel up to it. Whatever the challenge is, they should feel up to it to take it up, and they should feel motivated, and they should feel that yes, they should participate and deliver their best, do their best, so as to make it happen. So the major challenge is in terms of capacity. The second challenge is that in case of Ayodhya, for that matter, development is a process. What we are trying to do here is, or what we are supposed to do here is, we are trying to, compress that process into an incident. Yesterday Ayodhya was not developed, tomorrow Ayodhya is developed. It doesn't work like that. Large size civil projects, large size construction project, they have a gestation period. So that is also a challenge. We are really hard pressed against time. But yes, we are trying to make it happen. We are working overtime. We are working in 3 shifts. All construction sites are working in 2 shifts, at least. We are trying to, plan and make it so scientifically planned and sequentially planned. We are trying to use various project management methods of CPM and PERT. We are trying to crash different PERT diagrams, and we are trying to come up with a approach so that we can scientifically expedite projects without actually compromising with quality. That's the other challenge that we are facing. But apart from these two, three things, I think there has been immense support from government, and there's no dearth of fund and no such problem. So till now, it has been going great. But yes, challenges are there, which we are addressing as we go.
It is very insightful to understand the very practicalities of the modalities of development and the challenges that they entail in terms of capacity, which is also heartening to understand that the government is looking into these problems, trying to address these. So great thus far, sir. And my last question to you would be, what would be your very kind advice to students and practitioners of public policy, UPSC aspirants, and so on?
Well, I have been saying it on different forums that first of all, you should consider, when you are going to study public policy, try and test your knowledge, test your understanding on ground in a country like India. Policy planning in framework or policy planning understanding of policy framing in US will not really help you in doing that in India. So if somebody is expecting or aspiring to be a policy consultant in India, they should test waters here. So it is advisable that your teachers and your faculty members, they should plan an immersive exercise for policy students in Indian organizations. We already have a framework for that, TULIP. I don't know if you have heard of it. There's a website, there's a program run by MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. There's a program called as TULIP, you can all apply TULIP for internship and conduct or do your internship in Indian organization. See how government is functioning, see how policy formulation is being done, what are the challenges, what are the roadblocks, what happens when the rubber meets the road. These things you can understand when you work in an Indian environment. So you should do an internship, intensive internship for at least 6 months in different organizations within the country. Then only you can be a policy professional in times to come.
Thank you, sir. We will make sure that your advice is, flashed far and wide into our young audience. Thank you so much again for making out time from your very busy schedule, sir.